Welcome to County Portal, your simple source for local government services and public records. Let's get started.
We're tackling a question that's been making the rounds online. Has Kamala Harris's campaign requested a recount? The short and simple answer is no. The reason for this is fundamental to how our elections work. A recount can only happen after an election has concluded and the votes have been counted. Since the 2024 presidential election has not yet taken place, there are no votes to count, and therefore no results to recount. Any information you see suggesting a recount has been requested is either a misunderstanding of the process or misinformation. It's helpful to understand what a recount actually is and when it becomes a part of the election process. A recount is a formal, legal procedure to retally the votes in an election, and it's not something a campaign can just demand at will. There are specific, strict conditions that must be met, and these rules vary from state to state. Generally, recounts fall into two categories. First, there are automatic recounts. These are triggered by state law when the margin of victory is extremely small, often less than 1% or even 0.5%. If the initial vote count is within that razor-thin margin, the state will automatically conduct a recount to ensure accuracy without either campaign having to ask for it. The second type is a requested recount. If the margin is very close but just outside the automatic recount threshold, a campaign might have the option to request one. However, they can't just do this because they're unhappy with the outcome. They often have to provide a valid reason and, in many cases, they must pay for the significant costs of the recount themselves, which can run into millions of dollars. We've seen this process in action in major elections. The most famous modern example is the 2000 election in Florida between George W. Bush and Al Gore, where the presidency hinged on a few hundred votes, leading to a complex and contentious recount process that ultimately went to the Supreme Court. So, to bring it all back to the original question, the Harris campaign is currently focused on winning the upcoming election, not on any post-election procedures. A recount is a tool used to ensure the accuracy of a very close result, and we won't know if one is necessary until long after the polls close on election day. It's a specific step for a specific circumstance that simply doesn't exist right now. We hope this explanation helps clarify the process and provide some important context for the months ahead. Thanks so much for watching. If you found this video helpful and want more clear, no-nonsense explanations of how our political system works, please be sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications so you don't miss our next video.